In the heart of the Serengeti, Tanzania, a pair of lions known as Rumo and Sarah had become well known among the rangers and local researchers. Rumo, a massive lion with a dark, weathered mane, was always seen walking beside Sarah, his gentle and watchful mate. Sarah was in her final weeks of pregnancy, her belly round and heavy. She rarely hunted anymore, often resting beneath acacia trees while Rumo brought back fresh kills. Their bond was deeply moving. Each evening, as the sun melted behind the plains, they nuzzled heads and lay close, Rumo always on alert, guarding Sarah through the night. Their loyalty and affection made an impression on anyone who witnessed it. Rangers in the region, especially Jonah and Miriam, two seasoned wildlife officers, had monitored the pair for weeks. They made quiet notes from afar, tracking Sarah's behavior and noting the closeness of her due date. One morning, after a silent nightfall and the first cool winds of the dry season, the lions moved toward an open stretch of grassland not far from the ranger's mobile station. Rumo paused near a lone baobab tree while Sarah lay down beside him, breathing slowly. But then something changed. Sarah began to pant heavily, her body trembling. A soft growl escaped her throat, and then another. Her legs twitched uncontrollably, and she rolled onto her side, her stomach contracting visibly. Blood slowly began to pool beneath her. Rumo stood over her, clearly distressed, his eyes darting around. He let out a deep, thunderous roar that echoed across the grassland. It wasn't a call of dominance, it was desperation. Jonah and Miriam, who had just left camp in their patrol truck, heard the roar. They pulled to a stop and climbed onto the roof with binoculars. Through the morning haze, they saw Rumo pacing in tight circles around a prone Sarah, blood visible even from afar. Jonah grabbed the emergency medical kit while Miriam readied a tranquilizer rifle. They approached slowly, hearts pounding. Rumo saw them but didn't charge. He stood still, chest rising and falling, his eyes fixed on the strangers, but something in his gaze held no anger. It was fear, uncertainty, and perhaps hope. As Miriam kept her distance, tranquilizer in hand, Jonah moved closer to Sarah, crouching carefully. Her breathing was shallow, and blood stained the fur around her hindquarters. He reached for her side, injecting a mild sedative along with medication to ease the labor. Rumo growled lowly but didn't approach. Miriam kept her focus on Rumo, fingers tight on the rifle, though she hoped she wouldn't have to use it. Within minutes, Sarah began convulsing again. Her body shifted. Jonah, now gloved and crouched beside her, gently positioned his hands as he saw the head of a cub beginning to emerge. The first cub came out with a soft, gasping cry. Then a second, smaller one followed, and a third just minutes later. Jonah moved quickly, clearing mucus and blood from their nostrils. Miriam stayed quiet, her eyes locked on Rumo, who watched everything, unmoving but intensely alert. Jonah placed the 3 cubs against Sarah's belly. Though still unconscious, she began to twitch, a faint nursing reflex returning. The tiny cubs instinctively searched for warmth and milk. Rumo took a cautious step closer, growling softly, not in warning, but as if announcing, "I'm here." The sun crept higher. Golden light touched the cub's fur. Miriam lowered her rifle. Jonah stepped back slowly. Neither ranger spoke. Their silence was reverent. The lions had accepted them, if only for a moment, and the miracle of life had played out before their eyes. As Jonah and Miriam backed away, the air around them felt still. Sarah's breathing slowed but steadied, and her paw shifted, instinctively pulling one of the cubs close. Rumo stepped in, his posture low and calm. He gently sniffed the cubs, then licked the blood from Sarah's face. The scene radiated quiet devotion. Jonah crouched nearby, heart still racing. Miriam lowered her tranquilizer rifle, watching with quiet awe. "She's stabilizing," Jonah said softly. "And the cubs?" Miriam asked. "All breathing. We did it. They stood a few meters back, not wanting to interrupt. After a while, Jonah signaled toward the truck. Let's give them space. They moved carefully, watching from a distance as Sarah stirred. Her eyes fluttered open. She looked down at her cubs, then slowly began to groom them with weak but tender licks. Rumo lay beside her, massive and still, guarding his new family. The morning warmed. A breeze stirred the grass. The world outside resumed its rhythm. Inside the truck, Jonah and Miriam sat in silence. From their vantage point, they could still see the lions, Sarah now awake, the cubs suckling, and Rumo watching over them. Do you think he knows we helped? Miriam asked. Jonah nodded. I think he does. Or at least, he didn't see us as a threat. Eventually, Rumo nudged Sarah with his nose. She rose slowly, wobbling but determined. One by one, she moved the cubs closer to her with gentle nuzzles. They wouldn't stay in the open much longer. The family began to move, Rumo leading, Sarah behind him, the cubs toddling uncertainly in her shadow. They disappeared into a patch of tall grass near the tree line. Jonah and Miriam stayed still, watching until the lions vanished. No words. No photos. Just reverence. I'll never forget this, Miriam whispered. Neither will I. They started the engine gently and drove away, glancing back only once. The family was gone, safely hidden. In the days that followed, Jonah and Miriam resumed their patrols. Occasionally, they spotted Rumo from afar, carrying food. Sarah stayed out of sight, but signs of the cubs remained, tiny paw prints near the thickets, faint rustles in the brush. The story spread quietly through the reserve. Rumo and Sarah became more than just lions, they became a symbol of the fragile trust between humans and wildlife. Jonah and Miriam never sought praise. They didn't need it. The memory was enough. In the golden plains of the Serengeti, a lion family had begun again. Not just through strength and instinct, but through love, and the brief, quiet presence of two humans who chose to help. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe to support the channel. See you in the next episodes.